Hello, and welcome to another episode. Today, I want to discuss the newer laws which affects our children in 2021 and 2022. There are some new child protection laws. I think this was in 2021. It was Evelyn's laws. A lot of us know the story of Evelyn Boswell. This law was stemmed from her case. The new law says that parents in Tennessee must report missing children to law enforcement within 24 hours or they can be charged with a Class A misdemeanor. The law was named after Evelyn Boswell. She was a 15-month-old found dead after an extensive Amber Alert. Hello, brother. Hope you're doing well. The next one is child neglect and endangerment. The new law increases harsher penalties for anyone who places a child in imminent danger of death, bodily injury, or mental or physical impairment, like exposing them to a dangerous drug. Offenders would face a Class A misdemeanor, but if the child is 8 or younger, then the penalty is a Class D felony. I believe it all should be a Class D felony, really. It shouldn't be going by age. Nobody of any age as a child needs to endure this. Then there's Eli's law requires the court be alerted about any child born to parents who have had another child removed from their custody. The law is named after a boy named Eli, whose brother was removed from his parents' home years prior to Eli's birth. Eli was abused as well. And they're saying that if this would have been enacted, Eli would not have to be faced with abuse. And I pray to God wherever Eli and wherever his brother is, I hope they're not being abused by whomever has them as well. Excuse me. The next law is child exposure to dangerous drugs. The bill expands on the severe child abuse law. It increases the penalty against individuals who knowingly expose children to illegal drugs like meth, fentanyl, and cocaine. So there's another law, which is trafficking victims' self defense. The new law gives considerations to victims of human trafficking who use force that may result in serious bodily injury or death, even if they are engaged in illegal activity. The victim must prove they are a victim of human trafficking in order to use force when they had a reasonable belief of a threat that will result in serious bodily injury or death. Hello, Sugar Glider. I'm doing well. How about you? Then there's commercial sex trafficking. The bill is aimed at combating human trafficking by removing the statute of limitations committed against a child on or after July the 1st, 2021. I don't really like this law because I believe that this should go and drop all statute of limitations from before even 2021. That's one thing I don't like about this bill here because it's going on or after July 1st, 2021. So it's like people afterwards, they're not doing it. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you're doing great. So the sex, hey, get to know. In sex trafficking sentencing, the law adds convicted traffickers to the category of sexual predators who are not eligible for early parole or release. Well, I would say I don't really care for that one either, for the fact that they're going to go ahead and still have to serve the time. And I think that they should stay in jail if they're trafficked or done these things to kids. Because kids, we got to face these repercussions the rest of our lives. What they done to us. And they just got to serve like 10 years if they're lucky. Sometimes some of just 1 or 2 years and that's it. Slap on the wrist and that's it. Boy. So then there's a couple human trafficking laws. Oh, and this also says the child rape citizen, if someone is convicted of the facilitation of rape of a child or aggravated rape of a child, then the new law requires them to serve 100% of the sentence imposed minus a maximum 15% credit, not conduct, excuse me. Maximum 15% credit. It adds community supervision for life. Yeah, but I kind of wonder what kind of community supervision. Is it going to be something like you got to wear a thing around an ankle bracelet, where some people have cut them off and left them behind? Are they sex offenders that are just roaming around and whenever they move or go somewhere, yeah, they might live at a residence, but that don't mean they're not going to go across state lines with a friend and do some actions. You all know what I'm talking about. Then there's human trafficking laws, which safe home for trafficked children. Under the law, police are required to notify the Department of Children's Services when a minor is taken into custody or suspected prostitution charges. The DCS will place a child in a safe place that will help them recover from abusive trafficking. Well, this is a little bit different because right now I know of a lot of cases. I've got a friend that does her radio station on a lot of things that DCS has done wrong and falsely taken children away. So I don't wholeheartedly trust them 100%. Um, my friend was doing the human trafficking awareness, and the reason why he was trying to get that going. He wanted safe homes in a different way. He wanted to get it out there nationwide and retrain the children into thinking different, that they are worthwhile, that they're not there for sexual excursions or for anybody, and get their reading. And because when they're trafficked, a lot of times they're not going to school, they're not being taught, they don't have that education. So he wants a safe place where the kids can be taught and learn to value their lives and show how important, where they can be citizens and be able to take care of themselves without falling back on future possibly prostitution. So I'm a little bit different on that law as well, because I can't really say that it's a safe place. If I knew that it's a safe place, that's one thing. Okay, then there's trafficking victim self defense, and I read that a minute ago about unless it result in serious bodily injury or death, you had to prove that you were trafficked, and then you'll be able to get help, and you're not. It shows that you were in dire need to get out of that situation. Yes. So there's this. I really like this one, and I think all states need to have this one. Human trafficking training in schools. It's under SB 1670. Under this new law, all school employees, everyone, it don't mean just teachers. Before it was just teachers, okay, were required. But now this new law, all school employees will undergo training to help detect and prevent human trafficking of students. The bill extends the training requirements to other staff like bus drivers, janitors, and cafeteria workers. I love that law, y'all. Now, this one personally hit me, and it was not listed under the child abuse thing, but this this boy went missing, and the father said that he killed the son, and I don't really know if he really did or not. I know that he's got mental problems. I don't know if he was coerced into a sentence or whatever, but still, the little boy's missing, and the father had confessed to killing him. And what he had said happened to him, they checked the whole house and there were no blood droplets in the house whatsoever. This is the Joe Clyde Daniels Act. Before making a parole determination for a convicted felon, the law requires the Board of Parole to consider if the offender obstructed or continues to obstruct law enforcement from recovering the remains of the victim. The bill is named after Joe Clyde Daniels, who disappeared from his Dixon home in 2018. Yes, this is live. How you doing? Yes, this is live, Adam. Everyone's welcome in here as long as they show respect. The mother and the father of him, well, I would say that a lot of abusers, they try to say, well, they have been abused as well. They try to go back on that. And I believe sometimes, like my father, I heard was abused, but Aaron, he knows my story, and I was abused horrendously, horrifically, in every which way. But I did not fall back and do what my family had done. You've got a choice. You got a choice as to what you're going to do to your kids. Are you going to make life better? Are you going to stick up for your kids? Are you going to stop the cycle? You have to ask yourself these kind of things. But I'm not no doctor to really say that it is that, you know. Well, you can blame mental health, and I do have some mental health issues because of me being abused, but I still had a choice. I don't believe you can blame mental health. Now, there are some instances where some people have blacked out from being so angry and they did not know what they had done. I think that's a different scenario. And sometimes I think a lot of people that's giving these games to children, these fighting war games, I think that's a problem in itself. Let me tell you about something that happened back when I lived in Alabama. I had found a gun outside. Well, this was a couple days later after I seen a 5-year old boy pointing the real pistol and playing with his kids, the other kids, his friends. And he was acting like it was so much fun. He didn't realize the danger. But I went ahead and went next door to the mom and said, "You need to do something because he's playing with a gun, a pistol." She said, "Well, it won't fire. It won't fire." I said, "How are people going to know whether the gun will fire or not. They'll just see a pistol pointing in their direction. Somebody could get shot and killed. But she goes, well, nobody better kill my kid. She did not listen to a dang warning I said. You know what I'm saying? She thought it was okay to let her son go ahead and play with a gun since it didn't no longer fire. Thank you. And the day that I found it outside, I said, well, if I'm going to grab it and I'm going to take it in my apartment, I'm going to call my sister to let her know I'm going to go to the police department. And I took it up to the police station. Well, then I had to wait around while they tried to run the numbers on it to see if it was a stolen gun. If it was a stolen gun, I was going to get arrested. And here I was doing a good deed, right? Trying to save children, trying to save lives. But then my sister called the police department and she tried everything in her power to tell them what a bad person I was and tried to get me arrested. So they ended up letting me go just because they said, I'm sorry for the kind of hell that you had to grow up in. I can imagine. He said, usually people try to call and try to get us not to arrest somebody, but when you actually got family members that try to get us to arrest you, when you go and you're doing a good deed trying to save a life, he said, it's really unbelievable. He said, you're free to go. And Adam, I was trafficked since I was 2 year old. No one ever had to pay, but the majority are dead, and I guarantee you they're having to pay today. If they didn't have to pay in real life, and unfortunately, one was even a state trooper. One had a lot of businesses in the town where I went to, and he happened to be distantly related to me as well. But it was my own parents who trafficked me. They never ever had to pay. Excuse me, I'm getting over bronchitis, so please excuse me. Is there any more questions you want to ask? And Adam, it affects your mental state. You wonder whether or not you deserve certain things in life. You wonder why all this happened to me. You blame your, like I blamed myself. I said I must have been a mistake. Like they was told me that even God, that I was a mistake even to Him. It took a lot of realization that my family were not good. Were not good. That we're not good parents. A family is to love and nurture their children. I love how Aaron McGonigal does. Aaron and his wife, they teach and have taught their kids since they were in diapers about trusting people. And Aaron has his own channel on Get to Know. One time exactly, I am so proud of you two. Adam, were you abused in any way, if I may ask? You don't have to say if you don't want to, since this is live streamed and the replay thing. Um, you can choose not to answer that. But I believe if we keep remaining silent, we're getting nowhere. Everybody keeping a cover over disbelief and saying, oh, don't talk about that. For a long time, I blamed myself. For a long time, I thought I deserved it all. Well, Adam, I have written me a book, and it's over there at Amazon. It is called Shattered Innocence. So to Darlene J. Clark. You can learn a lot about my experiences there. But I want to get the word out, and Aaron's channel, he gets the word out, and this is basically about pedophiles, against pedophiles. Oh, okay. Which one? See, that's what a lot of people try to do. I want to get back to that statement about you can't blame mental health. Well, that's what they always try to blame and try to say, well, I was abused or this was done to me. Heck, you got a choice. And look at that little girl that um, she was missing in, I think it was Texas recently. And the FedEx guy had brought a delivery and then he kidnapped and killed her. Did you know the delivery that he brought? The mama recently said that it was the little girl's Christmas presents. Right below your. Okay, let me see. Where am I seeing it at? Okay. Yes, I believe that. Are you still here, Adam? I believe that they will face karma eventually. Yes. If they are not facing it, I think they're running around scared. And it's up to us to stop covering for them. If we don't have a word and speak out against the abusers, how do we know our abuser won't go out and it's not abusing somebody else? A lot of people say, well, I don't know. Like the story that I did yesterday on that guy in Alabama had 164 charges against him. He was just recently arrested. He's 60 was he 67, Aaron? And yet all he got to serve was 12 years. That is all. And I did find some more on that story as well, Aaron. And there were 4 girls total who had came forward on that case. So it wasn't just the 2; it was 4 of them. And there's got to be a lot of others. Look at all the years he got away with all this. That one girl said he was abusing her since age 6. He got away with it for all that long, abusing her. And after I left here, I also found another case in that same city where a police officer had been at one of them sites and he enticed a 15-year-old boy and he went and had him to meet him somewhere and he sodomized him, I believe, in his police car, if I'm not mistaken. And the police are supposed to serve and protect. They're not doing their duty. How many cases are they hiding behind if they know that somebody's been abused? How many other times has he really done these other actions and some of the kids he supposed might have had in his car? We're never going to know, you know? Remember, I said the state trooper, and it was an Alabama state trooper also back in my life that had done a lot of these heinous actions. And Adam, I'm very sorry that this happened to you. We're here for you, man. We're here for you. Is Sugar Glider, are you still here? Two people. I can't see the two people here. Well, why did you hide? There's only two in here right now, it says. So I'm not sure who's here right now, but I'm sure they will come back. And Adam, hi, I'm glad you're still here. Is there anything you would like to, a question or anything you would like to know, Sugar? A question or comment? And Adam, if you come back and listen at this later, since you probably are not here right now, come back and listen. Look me up at Facebook. I will be glad to get in touch with you. Oh, okay. All right. I got a friend that's supposed to come, and we're gonna go do a little bit of shopping around in about 45 minutes. So I'm gonna probably hop off here if I don't slip and bust my butt. And to go shopping. We're supposed to go like Dollar Tree and do a little bit of grocery shopping and go to dinner. She said it's like a Christmas like type of thing that we're gonna go do. So that's gonna be special. And I want to thank y'all. Y'all are strong. Keep the faith. Keep your resilience. Welcome back. Welcome whoever's here. Oh, love you so much also, sis. You're quite welcome. We got to keep strong. We got to keep the faith. We got to help one another through these things because it's difficult. A lot of times it feels like we're in it alone, but we're not in it alone. There are a lot of people who genuinely care. And as I was saying, if it's anybody who's not my friend on here, if you want to show respect, I'll be glad to add you as a friend. Let's stick together and fight this war that's going on. Yeah, And yeah, in a lot of ways, I do. Yes, in a lot of ways, I do. Like, I would love that Joe Clyde Daniels law to be out there. I would love that law about teaching the sex trafficking in our schools, not just to our teachers, but to all of the workers, bus drivers, janitors, and all, just like we have here in Tennessee. I think that's very necessary. But if it's mandated, so a lot of times there's some other things that they might try to snip in there that shouldn't be allowed. But I think everybody needs to pull full force and fight this. I got a guy across the street that I had ended up in a hospital, and thanks to Aaron, he helped me out then. I was doing a live, and I've got traumatic brain injuries, and I had an episode during my recording because of the violence that he exhibited. Now, he's mental, and the police just let him get away with it. They would not even let me draw up a police report. I was paralyzed. Um, so it was horrible. And then the police did nothing to protect me. I think they finally did though go and warn him because he has been quiet a lot lately. But as far as me wanting to take it up, when I had also told y'all about how I have to go across the street when this other neighbor goes over there because he's threatening my other neighbor, and my other neighbor feels like he's got to defend his mom because he's put that guy across the street's putting this guy next to me's mom down, and so I have to get the guy to come back because I'm the only one that seems that he will listen to. So I have to go over there, and I called the police after I heard the guy across the street threaten to pull this other guy's pants down and rape him in the butt and until he bled. Do you know I called the police and the police just said, "Well, he's mental. What gives him a right to threaten? What gives him that right?" Well, thank you so much. Exactly. I think people need to keep tabs on too and keep it open where we will be warned. Last night, I gave somebody a link at Facebook, and you could go to familywatchdog.us. Okay? Familywatchdog.us. Type in your address, and you can see the different people that's been in jail. Some of them sex crimes, some of it's burglary, but it's familywatchdog.us, and you can see your perpetrators around your area. And that's a very important to note to stay on top of. Plus, they're supposed to have a thing where you could sign up to get, like, if there's a new person that comes in your area, so they're supposed to notify you via email. And I like that aspect as well. So I will promote familywatchdog.us. And I would advise a lot of people to do that as well because you got to be hyper vigilant, not just for kids in the area, but for yourself as well. Just remember, you matter and y'all take care. We need to stop closing our eyes. We need to reach our hands out and help others. We don't need to keep turning a blind eye. And the cops need to do their jobs and stop giving saying that well, this is mental. They need to do their job and enforce it. They got a law and they need to do it. Well, true that. True that. But I also, when I looked on there, I was so shocked because a lot of them I see walking right down my road right here, right in front of my apartment. Some of them I even said hello to, and now it's like, I don't want to say hello to them. Like, oh, geez, guys, we got to be hyper vigilant. Yeah, I know that. I know you're not saying that in a negative way, but you're right because, like I said, the people that done the things to me never had. They weren't never convicted of the sex abuse. Now, one time, my dad had been convicted of doing that to my sister because my mom put him in jail saying that he did. And but how the laws were back in the 60s, early 60s, my mom just went and got him right back out of jail. They didn't do nothing else to him. He just got her slap on the wrist and just let him go. She went up there and said, then all of a sudden denied the charges and all this other kind of stuff, and they let him go. He came back home, according to my sister. She had locked the front door. Then my dad, she said I was 2 years old. And then she said my dad started shooting out from outside. He had a shotgun and she said she had to knock me to the floor and lay on me because she said that my dad was trying to shoot me through the windows. So the glass and everything was flying around everywhere. And she had to protect me, so she pushed me to the ground and laid on top of my body to shield me from getting hurt. Yet the splinters of wood and glass and all that was going in my sister. And see, he never had to go back to jail for that either. That was attempted murder on us kids, and he never had to pay. And yes, we had a lot of neighbors right then that was around too, but he never had to pay. It's my dad was still in the military, and then when I was 2 or 4 years old, he was given a when you get to get out of the army, what's that called? But he didn't get it negative. He didn't get it negative. Put out of the military. He got a good standing thing, getting out of the military, even though he did what he did. Even though they knew that he messed with kids, and even though the military knew, because one of them had even warned my mom not to marry him because he messed with kids. So anyway, it's so true. But keep hyper vigilant. And bro, I'm not sure. I hope that you'll be wait to do your live tonight when I'm back from doing the things I'm gonna do tonight because I want to be there for you and know that I love each and every one of y'all. And I will say God bless. Good night, everyone.